contact with ascended masters as mind possession. When people claim that they have contact with apparent ascended masters, the first question that I have is, how do you know that you are dealing with an ascended master? How do you know that who you are communicating with is not just a fabrication of an identity that you have created with all possible information that is already available within your own mind? Because if you look at all the information that is available on the internet of people who are apparently in contact with ascended masters, all the information comes from everything that has already been presented on the internet in the form of books by the channels and mediums that have gone before you. And all the information that is apparently new that is coming through from the ascended masters is actually not in alignment with this physical reality, meaning they cannot actually tell us anything of any value that will bring about any kind of solution. And the ascended masters can never explain to us how the physical reality actually functions, what are the actual problems, how the money system works, and how the human being functions according to how the unconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind creates the mind of every single human being. The ascended masters can never tell us, for example, how consciousness functions, how the outer reality, meaning the world that we live in, how that is created through how each single human being participates and thinks and participates in things like feelings, fears, beliefs. All that the ascended masters are ever able to do is rehash, apparently, the same light and love messages over and over. So what is an ascended master? This brings me back to what I mentioned right in the beginning, where thus far contact with ascended masters has always been rehashing of what the being already has within their mind. So for example, you'll always hear the same information being repeated, and it'll always be the similar messages in relation to, there's hope, and everybody must just believe in love, and everybody must, let go of their fears, and they must embrace their fullest potential. It'll be the nice messages that we have come, that we've come across before and that we've become used to hearing. But of course, each of these messages will be, slightly changed according to whoever is delivering the message. So, which again indicates we never have actual authentic ascended masters, because obviously an ascended master is claimed to be somebody who's passed over, who now has to communicate through the mind of a human being to be able to deliver a message. And yet, the message, as I just indicated, is always only what already exists in every single human being's mind. It is always based on hope and love and nice feelings, and that eventually one day everything will sort itself out if we just get everybody to believe and if we get everybody to love. This is not, according to its own definition, actually an ascended master. This is the person who is doing the conveying of the message, who is creating an entity in their own mind called an ascended master. And the being will use all relevant information that they've ever seen on the internet, books that they've read, stories that they've heard of what other people have claimed, and they will jumble that together. And what happens is the mind is very fast, and the mind is able to, obviously, according to all relationships that it's formed with all points in the being's mind, it is able to portray a new, fresh perspective on light and love and the hope message that ascended masters tend to represent. So what happens is that the person who is conveying the message from the apparent ascended master is actually just creating an entity based on information and then presenting it to others, because they know that people are desperate for an answer, are desperate to have some form of hope that they can cling to. And that is the problem. People are only hoping to have something to cling to. This is evident in the fact that people are listening to messages of ascended masters, because if people were actually interested in sustainable, livable, practical, commonsensical solutions, according to working with the current systems that are here, meaning the money systems, the economic systems, sorting out the human mind, sorting out the human psyche, working with dealing directly with each individual on a personal level and clearing out the clutter, getting to know thyself so that we sort out the problem of humanity on all levels, meaning from personal experience inside myself right through to what is the problem with the money system, what is the problem with our value systems. The Ascended Masters never speak about direct information from within the current system. They are just giving people hope. So in other words, you could call these Ascended Masters as hope entities that the person will represent, because he knows people are based on not taking responsibility. People are at this stage feeling as if they are unable to actually stand up and be the answer. So at this stage, all that humanity is doing is clinging to hope. So Ascended Masters are the entity creations of beings who will take the information that they have, present it in a package, and with beautiful words, symbolically laced words, present it to those who are very hopeful, because by using the words that will appease people's extreme anguish and pain, you know that for a moment people will be satisfied and you will be seen as the one that communicated with the Ascended Master. So of course, I would say that if you do claim that you are communicating with Ascended Masters, I would say ask the Ascended Masters some very, very direct questions in relation to how does consciousness of each human create the unified field as the world as we see it. How does the money system really work? How am I responsible for this world? How can I get to know the inner workings of myself so that eventually one day I don't need to listen to messages of hope, but so that I can actually direct myself and stop all inner experiences of myself and stand clear here to be an example of what could be lived as someone who is self-honest, self-responsible, and taking into consideration what's best for all, so that there is no more necessity for an idea such as an Ascended Master. Those are examples of what I would ask Ascended Masters, actual solutions that can be implemented by all light workers, to bring about actual change. So I would say to an Ascended Master, okay, right, what plan could you suggest for us to implement over the next 50 years that'll stop all abuse? If an Ascended Master cannot answer that, and he brings you messages of hope and raising your vibration and clearing your chakras and praying to the higher purpose and the higher ascended self of yourself within and as yourself, as who you really are, if they come with those stories, placing the solution out there in some higher function, then you know they are not working with what is here. They're working with projected hopes based on knowledge and information, and that's when you know you are dealing with an information entity as an Ascended Master. Thank you very much.